Hey, it's Soul, and today I'm going to fill you in on all of the quality of life changes and improvements coming in patch 9.0.5. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more of this and all things Warcraft, and drop by our Twitch channel to say hi. When you first log in, check out your Mount Collections tab. The Wandering Ancient should be in your collection, so hop on like pretty much everyone else is going to. Rhinestone glasses, which are a jewel crafting item, can now be used for transmogrification, so jewel crafters with the recipe, make sure to, get that money. Let's get the Covenant mission table stuff out of the way. It's easier, it's just plain easier with buffs to HP and abilities across the 4 covenants. I know it's lazy for me to just gloss over it, but odds are pretty good that you're using an add-on to assist you with running missions anyway. 2 of my favorites, which I've mentioned over and over again, are in the description below if you're interested in trying them out, and they're fairly self-explanatory. Let's move on to Covenant powers. Fleshcraft got a rework and is now quite feasible to use in combat. The channel time is shorter, 3 seconds instead of 4, and during the channel, you take 20% reduced damage, making this a pretty strong defensive ability with a 2-minute cooldown. Also, moving by an enemy corpse will passively reduce the cooldown of Fleshcraft by 1 second per corpse, making this reliable in a series of brief encounters. The passive benefit affects the volatile solvent and resourceful flesh crafting trait as well. Big quality of life change for Venthyr party players. There are permanent RSVPs you can buy once you maxed out reputation with each of your special guests, as well as a butler to bypass the cleanup quests after each session, which should save you a bunch of time. A smaller thing for the Night Fae, reviving spirits from anima seeds will automatically spawn the chest of goodies, instead of making you have to talk to them again, and will save you a few clicks. Now let's touch on the progression related stuff. The Valor system is coming to Mythic Plus as a sort of bad luck protection to complement the milestone awards that you get each week from the Great Vault. Here's how it basically works. Gear that drops from Mythic Zeros and Keystones will now have upgrade levels, all the way up to an item level of 220. Here's a chart to illustrate how this works. Gear can be upgraded to a maximum of item level 200 without completing any Keystone achievements. To upgrade to a maximum of 207, you need to earn the Keystone Explorer achievement, which is to time a 5 in every dungeon. To increase your upgrade max to 213, time a 10 in every dungeon, and finally to upgrade to 220, get Keystone Master, which is to time a 15 in every Shadowlands dungeon. Unlocking these upgrades is not going to be account-wide. Actually, I don't know that for certain, I'm just baiting you to correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Upgrades are going to be done through Valor points, which will drop from Mythic Dungeons as well as Covenant Callings. Valor works similarly to Conquest in that the maximum amount that you can earn in a season will go up each week. In this case, it's increments of 750 per week. So Callings have a renewed purpose, as completing these throughout the week will earn you roughly half of the valor that you can get in a normal week unless you're catching up. Now, don't worry, this is just much easier to see in practice than it is to explain. It's important to note that Valor is coming in mid-season, and it's not going to feel very effective for players who are already geared, but it ought to feel plenty more effective for newer players, alts, and especially in Season 2. Let's take a look at the few dungeon changes that happened. In Halls of Atonement, those gargoyles that Venthyr can charm now last for 45 seconds, up from 30 seconds. However, the ad itself deals less damage. In Sanguine Depths, the anima cages that Venthyr can activate now last for 1 minute, up from 45 seconds. The buff it applies now counts for any enemy killed nearby, and the duration lasts for 75 seconds, up from 60. And going forward, Keystones will decay by a level of 1 per week if you are unable to time a key of the same level. So if you timed a 15 last week, then obviously you get a 15 key this week. But if you fail to time that 15 this week, the following week, the key will downgrade to a 14. And there will always be at least 2 pieces of loot from the end of a dungeon, up from 1 even if you fail the timer. Failing the timer will award a piece of loot that is 1 upgrade level lower than normal, so if you were to fail a 15, inside the chest would be 1 210 item and 1 207. To make the reward tracking process just a little bit easier, buttons have been added to the Mythic Plus and PvP tabs. Just hover over the familiar lock icon and click to open your Great Vault from anywhere. And since Oribos could use just a little bit more color, an indicator of the Great Vault has been added to the map as well. While we're looking at the Ouroboros map, new mailboxes have been added. Here are the old ones on the map, and here are the new ones. The Great Vault itself had the raid requirements lowered by 1. It now takes 3, 6, and 9 bosses to unlock each requirement, down from 3, 7, and 10. And just an FYI, we know the next season of content will also include a 10 boss raid. And as a welcome plus, potency content will now drop from Castle Nathria. Who drops what is different for every class and spec, so I would advise that you check your dungeon journal to see where your most wanted conduit drops. Now off to Battleground, where there were lots of small changes to make them feel a bit more intense. Focused and Brutal Assault, those debuffs when carrying flags, now also reduce healing taken depending on how long the flag is held. In Asheran, up to 35 players can participate, up from 30, while reinforcements have been increased from 150 to 175. The big summons, like the Big Tree and the Rock Dude, that require artifact fragments now only need half of what they used to. Over in the Isle of Conquest, my favorite battleground to hate, the health of glaive throwers on the docks is up by 40%. Catapults and demos from the center have had their health increased by 25% and 100% respectively, while the walls were buffed by 20%. My other favorite battleground to hate, Wintergrasp, has had some very welcome changes. From the very start, the attacking team now hold Broken Temple and Sunken Ring. The walls and gates have had their health nerfed by 20%. But on the flip side, the towers to the south will shorten the match by 8 minutes each when destroyed, up from 5, which will pretty much end the match if all 3 are taken down. Siege engines and demos deal less damage to players, catapults and their flamethrowers are untouched, and after 5 minutes, everyone in the battleground or who joins the battleground afterwards will be able to at least spawn a catapult. Now off to Torghast. The layer selection screen down gives a brief description, as well as a suggested item level before taking on a climb. So 225 to climb level 8 of the Twisting Corridors? Haha, right. On multiple floors there are going to be fewer enemies, which may reduce the total amount of phantasma that you get by a little bit. A new power-up is also being added that you can purchase in the mall, just like the other Torghast upgrades, and it's pretty cheap. This one makes it so that areas where you have to climb across those long chains will include this now clickable glowy thing that will simply transport you to the other side, no muss, no fuss. And of course there are new powers, as well as adjustments to existing ones in Torghast, but long story short, there are a lot of buffs, and everything is just a little bit crazier. And that's going to be it for the quality of life changes coming to patch 905. Make sure to press that like button if this guide was useful, and subscribe for more stuff like this and all things Warcraft. We'll see you whenever the servers are up. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy.